Well, this is an extremely dangerous and upsetting situation for farmers right across England who are losing their crops and their equipment over the last 24 hours because of the temperatures and this prolonged dry spell. We're at JM Stratton & Co.'s farm, and you can see here the smouldering ground. This is completely torched, this ground. It is still warm to the touch, and this is what we captured on News today with this tractor and this baler on fire. You can just see the power and of the destruction of this tinderbox stubs. This ground had already been harvested, combined here with the wind which is blowing in. And this fire started by some of the equipment hitting shards of flint combined with this material and this straw. And as that happens, it just smoulders, and usually the farmer was telling me the driver would have time to disconnect the tractor, move that away, that's the really expensive bit of equipment, and unfortunately let the baler or the harvester burn. There was no time to do that. He had to flee. Now, fortunately, the driver of this equipment yesterday here in Wiltshire was unharmed and was absolutely fine. I was due to be chatting to the owner of this farm. This is a large farm, around 3,500 acres here in Wiltshire. He actually had to just dash because a couple of minutes ago we saw on the horizon, we can't see it now, some smoke coming from one of his other fields around 1.5 miles away. He called up his team over there, they confirmed it's a fire, and they've gone. The situation at this, now obviously this is a very large arable farm, and the situation here is that for the first time ever, the team here have recruited people to go around with bowsers and water to follow their harvesters and their tractors, because this takes off so quickly, they're needing to put these fires out almost instantly. And as good a job as the fire and rescue teams do, they can't get here quick enough. And so now this farm here has been employing their own people to follow these pieces of equipment with water to put out. You can just see, if we just come over here, you can still see, you know, this is a very large farm, some 3,500 acres. Now, fortunately, they'd harvested the crop here already, and it was the stubs which had caught light. But, I mean, the temperature is beating down. Another smouldering fire, still very much a risk. And what these private fire teams are doing, which have been employed by their farm owner here, when they spot a fire, they are instantly circling around the edges, creating that protective ring to ensure that the fire doesn't spread and that no more fires, no more crop, arguably, is damaged. And that is the real risk for them. But this is actually an incredibly sad situation, and the farmer, just before he dashed to go and tackle another fire in the last few minutes, said, I've got to go. The guys up there are so upset. They're losing their crops. This is, of course, their livelihood. And we're not talking about the record temperatures that we saw last month. The problem here for the farmers across the country is just the prolonged nature of this dry spell, of this heat. It's been the driest first half of the year since 1976, and what's happening is there's simply no moisture in the ground, so it is so tinderbox dry, and you can see the scorched earth here. And that is creating an incredibly dangerous situation for farmers up and down the country, as you can see here. Fortunately, the driver of this tractor, which we captured on the helicopter yesterday, was safe. The machine's lost, but fortunately he's okay.